All right. Hello, hello. I'm here live. And so far, I'm the only one here. It's a zero people watching. Oh, but now someone's there. I just saw it go up to one. So I'm sure people will come on as the live is going. But I'm here. I'm live. I'm here at my mom's duplex, which is being worked on, which is why there is lovely amounts of plastic behind me. So much fun. But this is where the Wi-Fi is the best. So that's why I'm hanging out here tonight to do readings. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good and you're having a good Monday. I hope you had a really nice Easter yesterday. It's like super springy over here, which is nice. It's been like 70 degrees, which is, pretty warm for Chicago at the start of April. But next week, I may be driving back to LA. So if I am, lives will not be happening all next week, but I'm here tonight. So I'm going to get started. Anyways, Elizabeth and Rachel, I did see both of your payments come in before going live. And Elizabeth, you actually beat Rachel out. So Rachel, you're actually number 2 on the list tonight. Elizabeth is number 1. She got it in like a good solid half an hour before the live. I wasn't even over here yet. I had to drive over and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already getting the payment in. Okay. So, all right, Elizabeth. Let me just double check. I'm pretty sure you guys both got Ventis, but I'm just double checking on the payment end of it. Logging into the Venmo. Yes, a Venti for Elizabeth, and I do believe it's a Venti for Rachel as well. And then I'll get started, launch into things. And then whoever wants to join in after that is welcome to. Yes, and a Venti for Rachel as well. Okay. So let's get started, you guys. Okay. So Elizabeth. Hi, Siwin. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you as always. Okay. So Elizabeth, you're submitting your question a little early because you'll be busy this evening. Okay, cool. You would like a love check-in with your person, Milton. What will be coming for you guys in April? Well, since we are in a brand new month, that makes sense. All right, let's see what's going on for Elizabeth and Milton. I know last time you asked me a question and I was live. I know that you had I remember you had just found out that he was like getting together with this girl or whatever, that whole thing. So I mean, I don't know how much things have changed within a week, but I'm hoping things are at least a little bit better. But we'll see. Let's see what's in store for you guys for the month of April. What is in store for Elizabeth and Milton for the month of April? Let's find out. What do you guys need to know? Oh my goodness, I have a whole bunch of things want to flip out here, but we got 2 that just flipped out all on their own. We have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Page of Cups. Okay, so both of these cards go to tell me that even though he is in this situation with this other girl right now, he does still care about you. He does still have feelings for you. Because number 1, with the Page of Cups is somebody who, they have love, they have emotions for you, they care about you, but because they're a page, they are not someone who is going to proceed forward and take action on that. They're someone who's feeling that and they're experiencing that. They're thinking about that. He's thinking about how he's caring about you. But, since he is committed elsewhere for the time being, and he must be a decent guy, obviously, too. That goes to show that he's not just some random player. He's not going to take action necessarily on that, but he is thinking about it. He is thinking about how there is still love there, how he does still care about you, that kind of thing. So that's definitely still there. And with the Knight of Pentacles, he does take action. He does take forward movement. But he's very slow. He's very slow in the actions that he takes. He is the slowest mover in the entire deck, basically. So, think of him as like the tortoise and the hare. He's slow, but the tortoise, he does finish the race. And he always does. He always completes the race. Some of the other knights don't necessarily do that. Like the Knight of Wands, he can kind of be in and out and, back and forth and all this other kind of stuff, even though he's a quick mover. But the Knight of Pentacles doesn't do that because he's stable and he's reliable. He keeps going. He keeps trudging through. He's just slow about things. And yeah, so he's a decent dude. He's a good dude. Slow and steady wins the race. So I think what this is basically saying is, if this was a race with you and Milton, it's more of a marathon. It's not a sprint, and he's going to take his time. So I do believe in time he will make movement towards you. It's probably going to be a slow process. And it may be something that will most likely go beyond just a month of April, but, I'm going to keep pulling cards to see what else we need to know. Obviously, this is just the first two, but it does seem like eventually he will make moves for you because he does care about you, because that love and care is definitely still there. But, like I said, it's going to take some time. Let's see what else we need to know here for the month of April for you guys, for you and Milton. See what's going on. All right. We also have, this is interesting. We're getting more knights. You got the Knight of Swords. So, which is kind of like the opposite. Well, not the total opposite, but it's different from the Knight of Pentacles that already came out for you. So the Knight of Swords, he does rush in with the truth. And this is an actually quick moving knight, because you can see we've got, wind running through this unicorn's mane and everything. And you can tell he's running, he's moving. Like the movement with him is like the exact opposite of the Knight of Pentacles. So kind of what I'm picking up here, I think in terms of movement, he's still probably going to be like this guy. He's still probably going to be slow. However, with this, I feel like he does want to express a truth to you. So I kind of see like one of two possibilities with this. Number one, since we're talking about April specifically, he could wind up rushing in and telling you some kind of truth. I don't know if it'll necessarily be the truth in regards to like how he feels about you, because you did get the Page of Cups. And like I said, the Page of Cups is usually someone who does care and who does love, but they don't necessarily express that. They're not showing that. They're just thinking about it. They're just, it's more like something they keep internally. So I don't think it'll necessarily be that, but he may express some kind of truth to you of maybe something that's going on with his life in general, or something that is going on with him as a whole. That could be possible. He may even express a truth to you about maybe something that is going on with this connection with this other girl, especially considering, he does still care about you and everything. He may look at you as like a confidant in a sense, to confide in you with certain things. So while he may not necessarily express how he feels about you per se, he may express a truth about something going on with him in general, something going on in his life. So that's scenario number one that I feel like could be a possibility. Scenario number two, I feel like, is the possibility that he is, thinking here with his feelings about you, of telling you the truth about it. But, in terms of speed, I don't think it's going to be as quick and as speedy as this one. Once again, it's probably going to be that kind of speed, because he's definitely there for a reason. So let's see what else we got going on with you guys for April. What else do we have for Elizabeth and Milton? We also, my gosh, you're getting like all the knights here, which is kind of crazy. Now you got the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, kind of like what I was just saying earlier, he's the one who kind of goes in and out and in and out. He's filled with a lot of fire. He's filled with a lot of passion. He's filled with a lot of desire, that kind of thing. So, I mean, you have got three of the four knights here. You've got the wands, you got the swords, and you got the pentacles. So, in terms of movement, like there does seem to be some kind of movement here that he's going to be making dealing with you over the course of the month of April, because in general, regardless of what kind of night it is, that's what the knights do. They're the ones who move. They're the ones who take the action, basically. So there is some kind of action that he's going to take dealing with you in the month of April. What type of action necessarily? It could be a whole bunch of different things at this point, but I do feel like there is a truth involved in there with it. I do believe that the Knight of Pentacles kind of slows it down because, he's the slowest one, but he's solid, he's stable, he's the knight that you want to come along because he's the one who gets the job done. I feel like the Knight of Wands basically confirms the fact that he does feel passion for you. He does feel desire for you. There may be a temptation for him to kind of go in and out and in and out with you because there is that other girl. So just be careful of that. The only knight you're missing so far, we'll see if he comes out because I'll shuffle again here. The only knight you're missing is the Knight of Cups, but you do have the Page of Cups, which, like I said, that means he has the emotions for you. He has the love for you. If we're not getting the Page of Cups, I feel like that kind of just confirms the fact that he's probably not going to express those emotions because he's just holding them back and he's just thinking about them. But it seems like there's a whole bunch of other stuff he may do. He may confide in you about other things. He may express other truths to you about other things going on in his life. Because when someone expresses their truth to you, it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically about you. It could be about something else in their life, and they just, they trust you because they care about you, so that's why they talk to you, kind of a thing. So that could be possible as well. But we will see. Let's see what else we need to know here for April. For Elizabeth and Milton. It's going to be hilarious if you do get the Knight of Cups because you've got night after night after night after night coming out, which is really funny. All right. Oh, boy. So we got the Devil. So we've got some temptation kind of energy happening here, some karmic kind of energy. Obviously, he's in a karmic situation as it is right now, but I do kind of sense how, like, with the Knight of Wands that came out earlier and getting the Devil, I do feel like there could be this temptation for him because, the Devil can also signify temptation. There could be a temptation for him to kind of be like the Knight of Wands and, coming towards you and be all like, hey, 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 like, I miss you. And I know there's this other girl, but I miss you, kind of a thing. So, he could be kind of like hot and cold and want to, come on to you and that kind of thing, even though he really shouldn't because he is, involved elsewhere right now, but he could be experiencing those temptations. And if he's experiencing those temptations, then that probably means he's not very satisfied where he is currently at. So I think there's definitely going to be continual karmic cycles here that are going to be worked on through the month of April because you guys have been dealing with a lot, obviously, coming out of March. So I feel like you guys are still going to be working through some of this karmic-y kind of stuff, definitely on his side. But, make sure you're checking your side of the street, too, to make sure that your side of the street is clean as well. So let me get one more from the tarot cards, and then I'm going to pull some oracle cards here for you, Elizabeth, and see what else we need to know. I'm like, where's my dog? There he is. He's laying down over there. He gets so confused when we come over here because it's like really quiet and nobody else is here right now. And there's like crazy amounts of plastic in other areas of the house. And we have the Fool. So it seems like he is probably going to want to try and take a leap of faith when it comes to you, but he has no idea what he's doing. And that's kind of obvious. He has no idea what he's doing. Because, he has this other situation going on. So, the Fool is kind of like an action card in itself, simply because the Fool leaps. They just like leap and they take action. But the thing is, they do it without like looking at the consequences. They walk across the street and they don't check to see if there's any oncoming traffic. If they get hit by a car, they get hit by a car. If they don't, they look out, but they just kind of dive in head first. And I feel like that's going to be him. And that's probably why you have gotten so many of these knights here that have been popping out. So it seems like there is going to be some kind of action. So, I would get prepared for some kind of communication. Just kind of prepare yourself, because it could be practically anything at this point with all these different types of knights coming out. But there is going to be action, that's for sure. Let me see what oracle cards we should go with here. I think we're going to go with some Ocean of Emotion, just because he is kind of all over the place in terms of like the action cards right now. I kind of want to get into his head if I can to see like where he is emotionally for the month of April when it comes to you guys. So let's see what we need to know here from the Ocean of Emotion for Elizabeth and Milton for the month of April. Let's see what we get. All right, we have innocent. I swear I didn't do it. So I feel like part of this is, kind of once again going back to that third party situation that I know, he's involved in. And I feel like in a lot of ways, maybe in the back of your mind, maybe in your subconscious, you might kind of think to yourself like, oh, he's doing this and he's doing that with her and blah, 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 blah. He cares about her more than me. He loves her more than me, blah, 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 blah. Just like second guessing and doubting and all these other kind of things. And I feel like from him, he's basically saying that he's innocent. That, yeah, he's being kind of stupid in the sense of the choices that he's making. But I feel like whatever it is that in your mind, you may be kind of like dramatizing and blowing up to be bigger than what it is in your mind, that it's probably nowhere near as bad as what you're thinking it is, which is why I feel like his response to you would be just like, I didn't do that. I don't actually feel that way. I'm not doing what you think I'm doing, kind of a thing. I am innocent. So I feel like if there's any kind of like overthinking, overanalyzing that you may be doing about what he's doing through the month of April, you probably shouldn't be doing that, because he's probably not doing that. It's probably not as bad as you think it is. And we all go there. We all have this tendency to kind of, jump into the worst case scenario when it comes to things, but it's not always like that. That's for sure. So try not to go there. And I know that was something that we talked about before you even found out that he had like this third party situation. You were kind of like in a sense manifesting it to happen because you were so fearful that that's what was happening. So I feel like you're kind of being taught a lesson, which could be some of the karma here that needs to be cleared. I feel like you may be learning a lesson with him right now to not go to the worst case scenarios in your mind, whether it's with him or anything else in your life. That's not a good way to manifest stuff. So yeah, if you guys need a good like law of attraction anthem, and I don't know why I like the song, like the album's been out for a while now, but I don't know why I just kind of stumbled across the song now, but check out Ariana Grande's Just Like Magic song because it's literally about the law of attraction. That's literally what it is. So yeah, it's a good song. I can't like stop playing it. I've been putting it on repeat because I'm just like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm attracting stuff, the good stuff that I want in my life, and we all need to do that. Okay, we also have support. I want to be the one who stands beside you and assists you in all of your success, which I feel like is a mutual feeling between the both of you. I feel like you definitely feel this way towards him, but I do feel like he feels like this towards you. And this may be one of the things that he, wants to try and do for you through the month of April. So I do feel like that mutual support is definitely still there. That's probably just another reason why you shouldn't jump to the worst case scenarios when it comes to him, because he does still want to support you. He does still want to be there for you. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, we got one that just flipped out. We have deceive. I've been lying to myself and to you. And I feel like this is kind of like a double-edged sword, and I feel like it kind of applies to both of you guys. The way I feel like you're deceiving yourself is by, once again, believing in the worst case scenario. Because every time you believe in that worst case scenario, you're deceiving yourself of the truth, and the truth may not be anywhere near as bad as what you're thinking. It may actually be okay. Like, it may not be bad. And for him, I feel like he's probably deceiving himself in a sense by, experimenting with this other karmic relationship. He's kind of deceiving his own truth, but he may need to go through that process in order to understand, what his feelings truly are, what it is that he truly wants, kind of a thing. So, a lot of the times in these situations, the other person will be mirroring us, and you guys could be mirroring each other in terms of your own personal self-deception. It's just you guys are doing it, with different scenarios. With you, it's like, worst case scenario stuff. With him, it's discovering what he really wants, like in a relationship. But either way, you're not deceiving each other. You're deceiving yourselves within. And, that's probably way worse than like an actual other person deceiving you. So yeah. So no more self-defeat or self-deception. No more self-defeat either. Anyways, let's see what else we got here for you, Elizabeth and Milton. We also have depressed. Nothing matters anymore. I give up. So through the month of April, there may be points and times. I feel like, once again, this is probably going to be for both of you. There may be points and times where you or him or both of you, just go through low points where you go through a little bit of depression. And I think that's going to be, once again, an extension out of the karma that you guys are both working through and working out, because that stuff isn't easy. It can be really heavy. It can be heavy on your heart, heavy on your mind. It just doesn't necessarily feel good. I don't feel like you're going to be depressed all throughout April. No, but I do feel like there may be moments where you guys respectively may feel this way and feel like giving up. But I do feel like you're both strong enough that you're going to push through and make it through any days, any times where there is some depression. Let me get one more for you, and then I'm going to go on to Rachel's question, since she is next. And then I heard my Venmo go off after that, so I'm assuming that's Seawin. But I will check. I haven't even looked at the chat necessarily to see what's happening there yet, but I will in a minute. We also have limited. There's nothing I can do right now. So I feel like this is kind of like in regards to him and that third party connection, that third party relationship. There's a lot of action that he's going to want to take and that he may try to take, because we did have all those, nights pop out earlier. But at the same time, he's kind of stopped himself because he is, otherwise having something else going on. So there's kind of not a lot that he can do right now. So I feel like, once again, April's going to be kind of a struggle. It's going to be a month of growth for you guys, growing pains pretty much. And I feel like this limited feeling, once again, will probably bring on a little bit of depression. But you got to look on the bright side of things with this. You got to remember that things are not as bad as you think it is. He's not doing all these terrible things that you may dread that he's doing, and that there is this mutual support between the two of you. So definitely try to remember that through the month of April. But you'll get through it. Maybe by the end of April, heading into May, things will be going into a better direction for you. So you're definitely in my prayers, Elizabeth, and hopefully that helps you out whenever you see this. I don't know if you're watching this now or watching this later, but whenever you do, at least you know. Okay, let me check here with the chat, and then I'll get in on Rachel's question. Hi, Shugandha Manga. When I meet my life partner, my last partner, Sanchit, will he ever contact me? Well, Shugandha, just so you know, I'm only doing paid readings tonight. That's usually what I do. I don't do free readings when I go live. I do paid readings only. So if you want your question answered, I can definitely answer that for you, but instructions on how to pay for your reading should be in the description of this video down below. So yeah, all of my readings are $10 or under. It all depends on what it is that you order, and I accept my payments through PayPal and Venmo. I have my phone right here with me to be able to keep tabs on those payments and when they come in, because I do take them in order. And yep, and there we go. Siwin got a Grande. So Siwin's going to get a reading after Rachel, because Rachel is next. And yeah, that's basically how I'm doing that, because I don't have super chats on this channel. Hopefully one day I will. But in the meantime, that's kind of how I'm doing things. So if that is something that interests you, feel free to hit up my PayPal or my Venmo and let me know what it is that you ordered. And there you go. So anyways, Rachel, you are next. And I think Siwin, you are after that. So let's see. And I did get another PayPal that just came in 2 minutes ago. So there is a DOA. I don't know if that's, okay, that would be you. Well, then you're going to be after Siwin then. So next is Rachel, because Rachel put in her payment before I even went live. So Rachel, you're up next. And welcome to the live. It's very wonderful to have you here. Okay, so Rachel, your usual love check-in. Okay, all right. So let's see what Rachel needs to know. Okay, Dee. Well, welcome to the live, Dee. It's awesome to have you here. And right now, just so you guys know, just a quick little reminder, I'm doing Rachel's reading right now. Siwin is after that, and then Dee is after Siwin. So that's kind of who's up in line as of the moment. So let's see what we need to know for Rachel. Love check-in for Rachel. What does she need to know? All right. So we have the Seven of Swords. I feel like deception seems to be an ongoing theme here lately tonight. We just got done talking about some deception stuff for Elizabeth, and now we have a little bit of deception going on here for you, Rachel. So it seems like you may You may be having a little bit of self-deception yourself. I'm going to keep pulling cards to find out what this is, but either you could be deceiving yourself, or this guy could be deceiving you, or he could be deceiving himself about something, but we're going to find out who's being deceived about what, because it seems like there's some kind of deception going on here. Hi, Jeanette. Welcome to the live. I was just explaining that, yes, you can get on the list. I'm doing paid readings only. So if you are interested in getting a paid reading, just go ahead and send your payment through PayPal or Venmo. And all the instructions on how to do that should be in the description, as well as like what it is that you can order, like the order types and everything. All the readings are $10 and are $10 or under. So check out that information there, and then you can put in your payment and submit your question, and you'll be on the list. Anyway, back to Rachel and what she needs to know with love. We got some more deception stuff coming in. Let's not have a deceptive April, you guys. No self-deception. And we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is all about, the wounded warrior, basically, someone who's been through the battle, someone who has, been to hell and back. They've been through their ups, they've been through their downs. They've just gone through a lot. They've visited hell a few times, they've come back. So they've been through the ringer is what it comes down to. So when it comes to love, you may be in this position, you may be the wounded warrior, someone who has been through a lot. And, usually the wounded warrior, he may be hurt and everything, but he doesn't give up. He keeps going, he keeps persevering, he keeps pressing on, pushing through. He never gives up. He keeps going. So I feel like that's you. Like, even though you may have been through a lot, you keep going. You don't give up. You don't quit. You keep pressing on because you know that there's more beyond that hell. So I feel like, if anything, maybe someone has deceived you, or, maybe there have been ways that you've deceived yourself in the past when it comes down to love. But that you can get past that deception, whether it's yourself or whether it's, someone else who's deceived you. I feel like that you can get past that. That you can get through that. That it doesn't have to, just because there's a bump in the road, it doesn't mean that has to be the end of the story for you. So let's see what else we have going on here for you, Rachel. Oh, we got one that just flipped out. We have the Star. So I feel like this is a reminder that, you are a star, basically. You are the star of your own movie. Nobody else stars in the movie of your life other than you. So, once again, I feel like, I don't know if something happened recently between like the last live and this live, but it seems like something may have happened, considering we've got this deception card and we've got that wounded warrior. And I feel like this is a reminder that even if you have been through something recently, if things have not been ideal when it comes to love, that you are still the star of your own life. You're still the star of your own show. And the right person for you, like if somebody hurt you, if someone deceived you, kind of a thing, if somebody put you into that wounded warrior type of mode where you're like, oh, I've been beat down again. You're able to get up and keep fighting, because that's what the star does. The star doesn't quit. Have you ever seen the hero or the heroine of the movie just quit and then the movie ends? No, there may be a moment in the movie where, they're close to quitting, where they're like this close and they almost quit. But then, at the last minute, they don't. And they're like, okay, I'm going to press on and push through, and I'm going to keep fighting anyways. So I don't know. I feel like something may have happened. Like there may have been some kind of pitfall or downfall or something like that. But you are still the star of your own show. And I feel like, if it's not the person that you're currently involved with who sees you as the star, there's somebody out there who is going to see that in you, because you are that. Let's see what else is going on for you, Rachel. And hi, Anise, I see you. Babysitting your friend's daughter in here. Okay, that's cool. That's totally fine. Hang out, babysit, do what you got to do. We also have the sun. So I feel like, once again, if you were just coming from a place where someone was deceiving you or you were deceiving yourself and you were hurt and that kind of thing, I feel like you're at a time right now where things are being illuminated, where you're discovering the truth. You can only be deceived, whether it's by someone else or by yourself, for so long. There comes a point eventually where the sun has to shine on the truth and has to expose things. So I do feel like you're kind of in a season right now. You're discovering the truth about things. It's illuminating things, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it's going to help you move forward in your life. It's going to help you move forward when it comes to love. It's just going to help things overall. Let's see what else we need to know. When it comes to love. And we have the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is about give and take, basically. So, the unicorn on this card, he's got like a couple of, it looks like a little scale in a sense, but he's given food to these other two unicorns that are bowing down and they're being grateful and thankful for that. But it's even give and take is what it comes down to. And I feel like this is what you're searching for. You're searching for even give and take with somebody in a relationship. Maybe somebody, said that they could do this, that they could provide even give and take, and maybe they didn't. And maybe that's where the deception came in. And maybe that's where, it kind of hurt you a little bit and everything. But, I feel like, we all want this. It's like the golden rule, do unto others as, you would want done unto you, kind of a thing. And I do feel like that is available out there for you, and that, that is going to find you. Let me get one more from the tarot, and then we'll see what's happening from an oracle deck. And we have the Fool. So I do feel like, once again, even though you may have been through some stuff and you've been wounded, I feel like that it's okay to try again. It's okay to be the fool, and that's what they do. It reminds me of like that movie When Fools Rush In. What were the fools rushing into? They were rushing into love. And sometimes we all do that. And I feel like at the beginning of any relationship, we're all kind of like that. We get all gaga, googly-eyed, and we're not really thinking with our brain or logics or anything. We're just thinking with our hormones and our emotions pretty much. So, you may find yourself in a position where you may want to basically take the leap again. And if you do, that's okay. You live, you learn. But I feel like you're doing that. You're living, you're learning, you're going to take another leap again. And you're willing to take that leap because you persevere, you press on, you push through. You're not going to let other people deceiving you or you deceiving yourself to get in your way, because you know the truth is being illuminated for you, and you're still the star of your own show, and somebody else is definitely going to see you as the star in their show too. Let me get you some oracle cards here. Move things around a little bit. Move that there. Let's get some come on, box, open. Thank you. Let's get some journey of love too. Let's see what's going on in your journey right now. What's happening in Rachel's journey of love? Let's see what's happening. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to the live. It's good to have you here. We're doing good. We're, hanging out, doing readings. That's what we do. Sitting in front of plastic. which I'm still entertained by. That's what happens when there's a water pipe that bursts. Okay, Rachel, let's see what we got here for you. We have, I'm ready to love and bring you balance, justice. So this kind of reminds me of what I was talking about with where is it? Where is it? I just saw it. It was somewhere here. Here it is. Where was it? Kind of reminds me of this Six of Pentacles here with the give and take. I feel like this is kind of referencing that even give and take that you're looking for, which would be justice. It would be justice to have things balanced. It would be justice to have even give and take. So you know what this card's saying? I'm ready to bring love and bring you balance. I do feel like there's someone who wants to bring that to you, who wants to give you that even give and take. If it's the person who did deceive you, who did hurt you, maybe they're going to have a change of heart. Maybe they're going to see the error in their ways, basically, and be just like, you know what? I can, do better. Like, I screwed up. Maybe they're going to give you a genuine apology, and it's up to you. If you want to reconcile with that person, that's totally cool. If not, that's cool too. It's totally your decision. But I do feel like regardless, whether it's with the person you're dealing with or whether it's with somebody else, there is somebody who can give you that even give and take, that justice and that balance where you really need it. Let's see what else we got here for Rachel. We also have nobody could ever take your place comparison. So the person that you're dealing with, if they have screwed up, I feel like they may be learning that nobody could take your place, basically. Especially if this is somebody who decided that maybe they wanted to see if the grass was greener on the other side, kind of a thing. They may be learning that the grass was actually brown and that, you were better than whatever it was that they decided to run away from or run towards, or whatever it was that they did. So they may be comparing you to others, or just like the decision that they've made to screw things up, and they may be realizing exactly how valuable and how worthy you truly are. So I do feel like, if this person has hurt you, I do feel like they are feeling remorse. They do feel badly about it. Like their conscience has kicked in and they're like, oops, I made a boo-boo. I made an error. What did I do? I screwed up. When that happens, we also have destined. You've helped manifest my dreams coming true. So I do feel like, your dream relationship, it's still there for you. That's something that is going to be illuminated for you because, once again, you're the star of your life. You're the star of your show, basically. So I do feel like there is a destined love there for you, that there is, a divine connection that's there for you, a soul connection. Something that is pure and real and good and true. If it's not with this person, it's definitely out there. It's with somebody else, but don't give up on that. That's definitely still there. Let me get one more here for you in terms of the love questions. Journey of Love 2. Oh, okay, we got two. Two wanted to flip out, so I'm going to take them both. Okay, we have attraction. I'm drawn to you uncontrollably. So, once again, the person that you're currently dealing with, they could be very attracted to you. And, if they did screw up, it could be because they're so incredibly attracted to you. It's like, they don't know how to necessarily function around you. That sometimes happens. I'm drawn to you uncontrollably. So I feel like there's almost kind of like this feeling like they can't necessarily control themselves, which may be kind of like why they've screwed up and why they've made the mistakes that they've made. Not that that should be an excuse, obviously, because it's not. Like they do need to learn how to control themselves. They can't just, go with their hormones or their emotions or whatever all the time. But I do feel like, you kind of like bring out this uncontrollable urge in them. But that's kind of on them to work out, not necessarily you. But we also have illuminate. You've brightened my path. And we do have the sun here, which I did mention illumination. So, once again, if you're dealing with this person, um, I do feel like they may feel bad if there has been like an issue going on lately. But, I feel like your presence in their life, it does help them. It helps illuminate things for them. You're the illumination in their life. You're the star basically, that, they find to be stunning and amazing and irresistible. It's that kind of energy. Um, so I do feel like you illuminate this for them, that you illuminate the truth in their life and it's illuminated in their life because you're able to recognize and illuminate, see the illumination of truth in your own life, kind of a thing. Um, so I do feel like you're a positive influence over them. They may make mistakes and do some stupid things at times, and it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing when it comes to relationships. It's like it's always good to forgive. That's for sure. It's always good to forgive because we forgive other people for us, not for them, but for us. Because if we don't forgive, that's the equivalent of drinking poison and then expecting our enemy to die, and that doesn't happen. So we forgive because we need to forgive for ourselves. But reconciliation, that's a whole other different ball game. You can forgive someone and move on with your life and never have anything to do with them again, or you can choose to reconcile and work it out. Sometimes those things go well and sometimes they don't. It just all depends. But you never know if you're going to reconcile with them. You might, because you did get that Fool card and that could be leaping back in. So that's kind of up to you. It's in your hands, but hopefully that makes sense and helps you out, especially if things have been a little tricky lately. But hopefully it gets all worked out there for you, Rachel. All right, Siwen, I believe you are up next. And Anise has written us a novel. So let's see what she has to say. And then you're very welcome, Rachel. Anyways, I'm going to read Anise's little novel here and then head into Siwen's reading. Okay. Yesterday I went to a Korean barbecue and I legit saw my dude there. We even stopped dead in our tracks and it looked exactly like him. I'm very proud of myself because I feel like Spirit orchestrated this to happen to test me to see if I'm ready for the real thing to happen soon. Because if this would have happened to me 2 years ago, I would have ran out there. But no, I remember asking my friend, is that who I think it is? I honestly thought that was my person working there. I was very certain it was him, exactly like him. The hair, the eyes, the body type, everything. Oh, wow. That is pretty crazy. Yeah. But hey, the important thing is if you were able to recognize your own spiritual growth out of that, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Okay, let me double check here. See when I think you're next. Just double checking on Venmo. Refresh, please. There we go. Okay. All right, Siwen. April career reading, please. There have been major changes at work lately. Okay. All right. Career reading for Siwen. Let me get a little drink from my chocolate shake. Okay. All right, Siwen. Let's see what's happening at work. I've been hearing so many crazy work things lately from my best friend. Like, she's a Capricorn, so she is a workaholic, number one. She loves her job. She works for Wayfair. So if you guys ever need something from Wayfair, I have a hookup for you. Um, but yeah, she works for Wayfair. So I hear all these things like all the time about Wayfair and the different clients and all this other kind of stuff. And yeah, she's a little frustrated. But the joys of being a federal employee. Oh, and you're a Capricorn moon, stellium. Okay, all right. Oh boy, federal employee. That could be like anything that could be like the post office, the DMV. I'm trying to think of all the different like federal jobs. Maybe you work for the FBI. I was watching an episode, like I was watching really old episodes. Oh, we got a card that just flipped out. I was watching really old episodes of Catfish last night, and one of the catfish was pretending that they were catfishing people and telling them that they worked for the CIA, the FBI, all this other stuff. I was like, what? This is crazy. Like, why do people do this? Oh, court. Well, yeah, that would be federal as well. Okay, so you got the Knight of Cups, which is funny because we're not even talking about love. We're talking about work here. But cups in general is obviously emotions, and I do feel like work for you is not just about work, which makes sense because you do have Capricorn in your chart there. But you do have an emotional connection to your job. You are emotionally tied to it. And, the Knight of Cups is someone who takes forward movement with those emotions. So I feel like if things have been overwhelming for you lately at work, you may need to address these emotions. You may need to take action dealing with these emotions. And that doesn't mean like go up to your boss and like have a hissy fit and just go, and everything like that. But if there are issues, if there are things that are emotionally weighing you down, you may need to take some kind of action and go forward to address these things rather than just kind of like sit on them and just accept them and kind of do nothing about them, because that's just going to fester and probably make it worse. So I do feel like, if you're emotionally tied in with something going on here with work, you probably need to take some action to address the issue. But let's see what else we got. Oh, we got two more that just flipped out here. So we got things that are definitely coming out right away. So you got the Nine of Swords, which makes sense because if you are feeling stressed out and overwhelmed at work, the Nine of Swords is about anxiety. It's about sleepless nights, stress, just not so good stuff. So it's kind of like even, when you're at home at night, you try to go to bed and you try to rest. It may not necessarily be easy on you because you may be thinking about all the junk going on with you still happening at work. You're basically bringing it home with you in your head, and then you go to bed and it just doesn't work. It doesn't happen. And that's, once again, because you're emotionally tied to it, you're emotionally involved in it. And instead of like addressing it at work, you're bringing it home and kind of sleeping with it. So you need kind of like a fresh, new, passionate start, I think, when it comes down to things at work, because that's what the Page of Wands is about. It's about a passionate, new, fiery start with things. And, usually, once again, Capricorn people are usually pretty fired up when it comes to work. They're pretty passionate about it. And I feel like, you're probably like that. You probably have that. And I feel like you just need to find that spark again that may help you snap out of this. Kind of snap out of what's happening here with the pressures. So you may need to find a little spark there. But I do feel like addressing your emotions is probably going to be like super helpful. You do need a spark. Okay. You do. I really feel like expressing these emotions though may help you in finding that spark. Because usually, like the fire and the drive that we feel, it's usually driven by emotions. A lot of the times, especially if it comes down to, work stuff or, I don't know, like boring kind of things like number crunching or something like that, that's usually something that you don't associate emotions with. But sometimes you need to put emotion into areas where there isn't any. I get where emotions can be destructive, but at the same time, emotions can also be total assets. Um, so you may need to kind of like tap into that a little bit here, and that may help you find that spark. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Three of Wands. So it seems like maybe you're waiting for your ships to come in, dealing with something at work. Because that's what this card is about. This unicorn is just hanging out there, watching the ships from the shore, and it's just waiting for the ships to come in. So I don't know if you're like waiting for, a promotion, or you're waiting for a new opportunity or something like that dealing with work, but seems like maybe you're waiting for something, and maybe that's why the spark is lacking, because you're waiting. And maybe instead of waiting, you may need to kind of like initiate that spark. Like, think about it this way. If you were in like the wild or the forest or whatever, like a fire is not going to magically start itself. You got to find a couple twigs and you got to start rubbing them together to create that spark. And for you, it may be like, once again, addressing some of these emotions, expressing some of these emotions. If there's like a superior or something like that above you, you may need to talk about some things with, which may help ignite the spark. So that way, then you're not just sitting around waiting for your ships to come in, and then maybe something can actually happen for you. New opportunity. Yeah. So if you're looking for a new opportunity, I feel like there's a part of you here that needs to initiate that, because, the Knight of Cups, once again, those knights are about movement. They're forward movement. They don't just sit around and do nothing. So, the Knight of Cups specifically moves forward with their emotions, with what they're feeling. So I feel like there's probably somebody at work, a boss, a manager, whatever it is, you probably need to express these emotions to. And it may actually be more helpful for you to do that than not to, because it can create that spark. And then you won't have to just sit around for that new opportunity. It may help induce it. Like, think about it this way. Like, if this new opportunity you're waiting for is like a baby, and you're pregnant with this baby opportunity for so long, you're tired of being pregnant with it, waiting for it to just come along. You may have to induce it a little bit to get it moving. So that doesn't mean that you're like being forceful, making it happen. You're just kind of like giving it a little nudge, like give it a little scooch in the right direction, kind of a thing. We also have the Six of Pentacles, which is about that even give and take that I was talking about earlier. So it seems like, you're probably searching for some even give and take too when it comes down to work. And depending on the job and depending on the people around you, that can be tricky. Some people that you work with, could be total assholes, basically, and may not do anything. And some people may be wonderful to work with. It depends on the environment. But I do feel like you're looking for a situation here where you are looking for even give and take in general on the job. And that's understandable. We all deserve that, obviously. Let's see what else we need to know. And we have the Ten of Wands, which makes sense. I feel like this card is kind of like a good companion card in a sense to this Nine of Swords with the anxiety and sleepless nights here. And the reason why you're probably having that, if you are, is because you're feeling burdened. That's what the Ten of Wands is about. It's about carrying a lot of burdens, just carrying around way too much, more than you should be. So, this is stuff, whatever the stuff is that you're carrying around from work, leave it at work. Don't bring it home with you to the point where you're having sleepless nights over it. But it seems like you do need to release some burdens. So once again, for me, I feel like that's once again addressing the fact that you got to address your emotions here. You got to talk about it. You got to let it out. You got to take action towards that. And express it to somebody. And I mean, maybe you already express these things to your friends or people that you trust and everything, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's all fine and good. But I feel like if you want to see actual change happen on the job in regards to that spark you're seeking and that new opportunity, you're probably going to have to express that to somebody at work who can actually like help you and work through that with you. Because you can talk to your friends about it or your family or whoever else about it all you want, but if they can't do anything, they can't do anything. All they can do is give you encouragement and support, basically. Let me get one more. And you got the Two of Wands. So I feel like, you got to make a decision here. If you're looking for that new opportunity, if you're looking for that spark, you got to make a decision. Because, a Two of anything is about a choice, but the Two of Wands specifically is about making a choice confidently. So don't be afraid to make a decision confidently here when it comes to your career and taking this next step. But it does seem like a choice needs to be made. So, part of this is in your hands. It's not just something that, God can do about. It's something that he'll do his part if you do your part, kind of a thing. That's usually how it is. There's only so much that we can do, obviously, because, there's only so much that we can control, and that's not very much. But yeah, usually if we do our part, God does his part. And I'm going through something like that myself right now, not dealing with my career, but there was something that I had to do where I had to do my part. And I'm still sitting here kind of waiting for God to do his part. And I'm like checking my email like every day, waiting for this thing to see if it's going to happen or not. But we'll see. I just got to keep praying when it comes to that situation. But I get it. It's a stretch of faith is what it comes down to. But you're very welcome, Siwen. I'm glad it's able to help. So, try not to get too crazy there with the work stuff. I know that's hard to tell anyone with Capricorn going on to not get too crazy with that, but it's true. And I've met many different Capricorns and dealt with Capricorns for a long time. And I love Capricorns. Capricorns are great. But yeah, definitely that workaholic thing. No. Let's see. Anise, I'm going to order a Venti, and I might hop off here because I need to start cooking for the baby and bathe her. So I'll go back on here and check it out. Okay, that's cool. You want to know what your person is doing energetically and towards you. You also feel like what happened yesterday was also telling you he is awakening. Okay, cool. Hi, Hugh. Welcome to the live. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Okay. I think Dee, I think you are next if I remember right. Let me go back to my phone and double check because I know there is stuff happening here. Stuff happening on the phone. All right, I'm just going to double check. No, I was not looking for an ad. My phone is like, here's an ad for you to look at. I was not trying to look at an ad. No. Okay. PayPal. Bring me back to PayPal. Thank you very much. Okay, yes, Dee, you are next. Okay. What was your question? You wanted to know if Tim has feelings for you and if he will ever convey them. Okay. Let's find out. All right. Let's see if Tim has feelings for Dee and if he's going to let her know how he feels. Let's find out. see what we got. All right. We have the Queen of Wands. Ooh, well, that's a very positive start. The Queen of Wands is someone who is very sexy. She's sexy. She's magnetic. She has like an amazing personality. She's charismatic. She's usually more of an extrovert than an introvert, but either way, she just kind of has this sparkling personality that just draws people in. Like there's nothing specific that she necessarily says or does, but it just draws people in. So I feel like this is how he sees you. He sees you as like this sexy, confident queen of a person, basically. So he sees you as pretty much like the bomb.com, basically. So he sees you as awesome sauce. That's a great way to start it. So long of the short, I feel like, yeah, he probably has feelings for you. Heather, you must be ridden just as well. What? Okay. Anyway, back to Tim and D. See what Tim is feeling towards D. So far, a good start, though, with that Queen of Wands, that's for sure. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is basically about reaping what you sow. It's kind of like the harvest. As you can see with the unicorn here, and this, bush of pentacles, pretty much, it has like a hoe. It has like a gardening tool that it's using to reap the benefits of what it has planted. So, pretty much think of it this way, like whatever you put out there into the universe is exactly what you're going to get back. So if you're putting out there, love and kindness towards people, you're being like a decent human being to your fellow human, basically, then you're going to get love and you're going to get goodness back. If you're being an asshole, if you're cutting people off in traffic, if you're just being mean for the sake of being mean, you're going to get some not so great stuff in return. So I feel like, if you have been putting in the time, putting in the effort when it comes to Tim, not in the sense of like chasing him or anything, but I mean just like putting time and effort into your connection with him, into your relationship with him, if you guys are just like friends right now or whatever, if you're like being a good friend to him, if you're being kind and supportive to him and just being a decent person towards him, I feel like he's recognizing that. And you will get that in return. So in regards to the part of your question that said, is he going to convey that? I feel like he will convey that, because I feel like whatever it is that you've put into the connection, he's going to put in right back towards it. So first of all, I would think about what is it that you have been putting in towards the connection towards him. If it hasn't been very much, then you may not see very much in return. But if it's been something significant, you probably will see something in return. So think about that. It's like you reap what you sow is what it comes down to. So if you've been a good, caring, decent person towards him, he is going to, do that in return for you. You've been putting in a lot of effort in manifesting something with him. Okay, well, that's good. That's really good. And Hugh, you mean like a Capricorn? What do you mean like a Capricorn? What? We're still talking about Capricorns? I don't know. And hello, Heather. I had to jump off, but I have a second question. Okay. You were wanting clarification on the deception part. Okay. We can always get into that. Oh, unicorns and I see unicorns. Well, we got unicorns here. These are not Capricorns. These are definitely unicorns, is what it comes down to. But yes, you reap what you sow. Like I was saying, D, you reap what you sow is what it comes down to here. Um, let's see what else we have. So if you've been putting in the effort, like you say you have been, I do feel like you are going to see return on your investment is what it comes down to. Um, as for like timetables on these things, that's kind of something that's out of our control. But I got two that just flipped out as I was shuffling here for you. So let's see what we get. We have temperance. So temperance is about things balancing themselves out, and temperance is kind of like another way of saying patience, basically. So temperance and patience. So I know you were just saying you've been putting in the time, you've been putting in the effort, you've been trying to manifest things when it comes to him, and definitely keep doing that, but also be mindful to be patient in it because it is a process. Once again, kind of going back to the whole, you reap what you sow kind of thing. If you think about like, I mean, I know, none of us here are farmers, but if you think about like a farmer or whatever, if you think about like planting things, it doesn't happen overnight when you're planting things. And I mean, I myself, I feel like I'm the worst person in the world to describe this because I don't have a green thumb. I have a brown thumb. I kill things. But um, the best way I can describe it is just like, if you plant something, it it's not like a microwave fast type of thing. It's not instantaneous. You plant the seed, you water it, you make sure it gets proper sunlight, whatever type of plant food it's supposed to get, and it takes weeks for that to grow. And eventually, you'll see like a little green bud or whatever start to pop up through the soil, and that will eventually grow, and that will eventually grow. It depends what you're growing too, if you're growing like a big tree or if you're, growing like a flower or something. But it takes time. It takes time to grow things. And once like that growing season is done, then you can harvest it. So you may still be in that growing season right now, which is where you're putting in your investment, which is where you have to be patient basically with temperance. But you got to remember that that is going to even itself out, that there is going to be balance that's going to come out of that situation with him. And you got the King of Wands when it comes to him, which is hilarious because the first card you got was the Queen of Wands. So you guys are the perfect match. 100% the perfect match because, the King of Wands, he's basically like the same thing as the Queen. He's fiery, he's magnetic, he's passionate, he's charismatic too. They're both magnetic. So they're both going to be drawn to each other naturally because these two are the perfect match. They're the king and the queen to each other. So he is your perfect match. You guys are, the king and the queen to each other basically, which is awesome. So I do feel like there's something there, without a doubt. There's something there, and I feel like you're on the right track. You just got to keep doing what you're doing. I feel like he is going to convey it to you. Let's see what else we need to know for D with Tim. We have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles can be about being greedy and guarded, basically. So as of at least, I feel like right now, in this moment while we're talking about it, if he hasn't conveyed how he feels, which obviously, at least in this moment, as you're watching, he hasn't, because if he had, then you wouldn't have asked the question. I feel like in this current moment, he's probably like this. He's probably just a little guarded, is what it comes down to. It's not that he doesn't feel what he feels, because he quite obviously does, but he just feels a little guarded. He may be a little nervous. He may be a little shy and a little scared to, let his walls down and, let that completely and fully. That can be a very vulnerable position. And that's not always easy when it comes to that for guys. we have this culture that kind of teaches guys to not express their emotions and to not cry and to man up and all this other kind of stuff. So it may take him a little bit of time to get there, which like I said, is where the temperance comes in with being patient. But I do feel like you are going to reap the benefits here with him. But I feel like the Four of Pentacles is just showing where he's at right now. Like he may be a little guarded, but I feel like that's something that he's the one who's going to have to transform that. But that doesn't mean the emotions aren't there. They're very much so there. They're very much so real, especially since you guys are the perfect match for each other. And that's a really good thing right there. We also have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is usually about juggling a couple of different things. It's about, juggling back and forth with stuff. So, either you or him, or maybe both of you could just be juggling with a lot right now, just in general with life, which could be another reason why there is some once again, some patience here, some temperance that needs to come in if, you or him is juggling other things going on in your life. That may need to be something that needs to balance itself out. So it seems like there is like a few things that kind of needs to check itself in a sense off the list before he does express himself. But I do believe that he will. Things have to balance out, and that's kind of what like what that Two of Pentacles is about. If you're juggling, it's about balancing. You do want things to be balanced when it comes to temperance. So if there's other areas of your lives that need a little bit of balance, that probably may need to come in as well. And we have the Death card. Don't be freaked out by the Death card. Really, the Death card, I don't see it necessarily as a bad card. I see it as a good card because, something may have to come to an end, but whenever there's an ending, there's always a new beginning. It's rebirth is what it comes down to. It's transformation. And I feel like the things that need to come to pass here with the two of you guys is probably him being guarded. That's something that needs to die basically because, you can't have openness and vulnerability and intimacy and all those other kind of things if he's not being open, if he's being guarded. So that's something that needs to transform. And, maybe some of this juggling here is some of the stuff that needs to transform as well. So I do feel like there are some things here that need to transform it. There needs to be a rebirth of, and, when it does, once again, you'll be able to reap the benefits here. He is in a relationship now. Maybe that's what needs to end. Probably. And that also probably explains the Two of Pentacles, because that could be juggling another person. Once again, the Two of Pentacles, it could be juggling a lot of different things. It could be juggling other things in life too. But if he is involved with somebody else, then he would be juggling you and that other relationship. So yeah, 100%. That would be the thing that needs to end. You can't obviously pursue a relationship with someone who's in a relationship elsewhere. And that probably also explains why he's guarded, because he's not necessarily going to express how he truly feels when he still has another situation going on elsewhere. So yeah, I feel like the thing that needs to die is probably him juggling the other relationship so he can stop being guarded. And, then you can reap the benefits with him. And, the two of you come together here as that king and queen, rule happily ever after. And just remember, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some patience on your end. Continue to be there for him, continue to be supportive to him, obviously, because when that relationship does end, I feel like it's going to mean a lot to him that you're there, basically. It's going to mean a lot to him that that you're being supportive and encouraging through that all. Like, I feel like he'll recognize that. So hopefully that makes sense and helps you out. So yeah, that's what I got for you, D. All right. Let me double check on the chat, see who's next. Um, okay, Rachel, you had to jump off. You had a second question, was wondering clarification on the deception in your love life. Ordered a grande. Okay. That totally works. And you're very welcome, D. And that's totally fine. You can order whatever you like. I'm here just doing my thing. Okay, let me check PayPal. I think Anise is next. I don't think anything else is happening on Venmo. What just happened on my phone? It had like weird stuff on it. Okay. PayPal. Let me refresh you, my friend. Okay. All right, Anise. Anise. Let me scroll back up to your question. I know you're doing stuff dealing with the baby. You want to know how your person is doing energetically and towards you. You also feel like what happened yesterday is also telling you he is awakening. All right, well, we're going to find out. If he's awakening, it'll come through with the cards. But let's see what's going on with Anise and her person. All right, Anise. Let's see what we got here. All right, Anise and her dude. What is going on? All right, we have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is all about being on the journey, basically, which I mean, I know this is probably going to come as no surprise to you, but yeah, the Six of Swords is about being on the journey because basically it's like, here's you and him. You guys are sitting in the little boat. And here would be this unicorn would be God, basically. And he's got the oar. He's the one who is directing the course of this boat since he's the one with the oar. He's charting the route here and, guiding you guys where you're supposed to be and where you're going. So, you and him are on this journey with God, basically, and you're in this huge body of water, whether it's an ocean, a lake, or whatever, but you guys are on this huge body of water, going from one side to the other. So this is definitely a journey. So just kind of in that energetic standpoint, I feel like it's just one of those reminders, like, yes, you're on this journey. It's kind of like a no brainer, duh kind of thing. Like, yeah, of course you're on this journey, that, but it's just a little confirmation there. Like, yes, you're still on this journey. So that means take whatever signs and synchronicities that you get. Take it and take the things that resonate for you and make sense for you, like the stuff that happened to you yesterday. But let's see what else we got going on here for the two of you. We have the High Priestess. So I feel like this is kind of where you're at right now. You're kind of in High Priestess mood, which makes sense. The High Priestess, she doesn't necessarily go around putting her life on blast and all this other kind of stuff. She leans back. She's highly intuitive. She knows what's going on with everybody else, but she's hard to figure out for others. No one really knows necessarily what's going on with her because she doesn't reveal it, because she is kind of secretive like that. And I feel like that's kind of where you're at right now, especially with the growth that you recently had over the weekend. You didn't pounce all over this guy when you saw him. You didn't do what you would normally do, like old you, basically, in the way that you used to be. You've grown since then. And that's kind of how the High Priestess would be. She would just, kind of hang back and just keep to herself and do her own thing. And you have an extremely highly good intuition yourself. Like, these things, that is what it comes down to. So trust yourself, trust your gut, trust your intuition. You know a lot more than you think you do, especially when it comes to him, because that's what the high priestess does. And I feel like on his end, he's trying to figure out what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're up to because you're so quiet, because you've grown, because you're not like how you used to be. So I feel like he's trying to figure it out. He's like, what's up with this? Like, does she not care about me anymore? Like, what's going on? Like, she's disappeared. I mean, that's not the case, but he's wondering. I feel like he's wondering what's going on with her. Where's she at? And we have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like his wondering what's going on with you because you're so like high priestess right now, his wondering about that. I feel like it could trigger a new beginning in love with him because you have the Ace of Cups. So that new beginning in love, it's still available, it's still possible. And, I know we've had conversations about this before where, you're just like, oh, I'm surrendering this and, I don't think it's going to like happen or whatever. But you never know. I mean, the Ace of Cups came out for a reason. It could always happen. I'm not saying this is going to happen today or tomorrow or the next day, but it'll probably happen when you least expect it. That's usually when those things do. And it usually happens when we least expect it because we are so busy being the high priestess that, we're just kind of doing our own thing and we really don't care and we're not putting things on blast. And that makes them curious and starts making them sniff around and be just like, where is she? What's going on? Like, it's some kind of weird radar, It's like when you don't think about them, you don't talk about them, you don't anything, that's when they magically appear. So I don't know. When you want them, they don't want you. When you don't want them, that's when they want you. I don't know. It's bizarre world. And we have the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups, like I know you have a history with him, that expands back, the past couple years or so. So, I feel like he's probably remembering that, he's probably remembering those experiences with you from a couple years ago. And, the Six of Cups can also tie into our inner child. So, he may be working on his inner child. That could be a part of the awakening thing. You may be working on your inner child right now. Heck, you're spending time with a child right now as I'm doing this video. Yeah, you could be working on yours. He could be working on his kind of a thing. And it's just a very nostalgic type of energy, a nostalgic kind of vibe. So he's probably reminiscing and remembering, those experiences with you a couple years back. And the Six of Cups can also, the Six of Cups can also be a past life connection. And I know that's something that you have wondered about before. I know you've wondered when it comes to him if you guys have a past life connection. So if you are wondering about that, I feel like this is saying that, yeah, you guys could have some past life stuff. And if, you're trying to work through some of your own karma and your own things going on, maybe it's worth looking into more of your own past life kind of things. So I do feel like there could be a past life connection there for you guys. Hi, Bridget. Yes, you can have a reading. Just so you know, I only do paid readings here. I don't give them away for free because there's got to be that exchange of energy that goes in. But since I don't have super chats, I do offer payments through PayPal and Venmo. So all of that information should be in the description, basically, and you can, leave your payment and pick what type of reading you want because there's like several different options there. All the readings are $10 or under, and then you can be on the list and leave your question. Hi, Melissa. Good to see you. All right, let's see what else we got here for Anise. And we have the Two of Cups. I mean, he's basically your other half. You guys are, two of the same cup, basically. So you guys share that love for one another. So, I know it's probably driving you nuts because you're like, I don't see it, blah, blah, blah. But it is there. So I feel like this is on his mind. I know it's on your mind. I feel like this is something you mutually share in terms of something that is on each other's minds. So, yeah, he's still your perfect pair is what it comes down to here. Let me get one more from the tarot and then I'll get you some oracle cards. Let's see what else we got. And we have the King of Cups. So he is your King of Cups, Anise. He does have a lot of love for you because that's what the King of Cups has. He has lots and lots of love, overwhelming amounts of love, which makes sense because you have that. Oh my gosh, why do I keep yawning during your reading? I don't know. You do have that Two of Cups here. So there's obviously a lot of love. We got love with the Two of Cups. We got love with the King of Cups. The only tricky thing, though, is the King of Cups. Even though he has all that love, he has all that love to give you. The only problem is he kind of holds that back a lot. He's not super expressive with that, which makes sense given the situation he's in, given kind of how things have been between the two of you for a while now. So, yeah, he's not likely to express it very much, but I feel like that's going to change because you got other positive stuff here. You got that Two of Cups. You got the Ace of Cups with that new beginning. You've got the Six of Cups with like that past kind of connection. You got a lot of cups here, which overall means you guys definitely share a lot of love between one another. So in terms of energy, in terms of, how he's feeling about you and everything, the love is still very much so there. Let me get you some oracle cards, though. I got to move some things around here. Let's see. I'll put you down here on that chair. Okay, cool. I will check PayPal in a little bit there, Bridget. I'm not sure who's after Anise. I'm working on Anise's reading right now. But I'll go back to PayPal to kind of see where we're at in terms of order of people. Okay. So from the journey of love, we're going to see from the journey of love here what's happening for you, Anise. What's going on between you and him with your little energy check. All right, we have, I need to express myself, balances and imbalances. So, kind of like what I was just saying earlier here, he's the King of Cups. The King of Cups has a lot of love to give, but he doesn't usually express that love, even though he has a ton of it. Clearly, this is something he needs to express. He does need to express that. When we don't express our emotions, at least like in a healthy way, in a constructive and positive way, it's like we become emotionally and spiritually constipated, and that's not good. These things need to be expressed. They need to be released. When we bottle things in, it becomes toxic to our systems, and he's kind of doing that to himself right now. So he does need to express it. I feel like when he does express it, it's going to be that Ace of Cups season coming in for you guys where it's going to be that fresh new beginning in love, because why wouldn't it be if that's going to be happening? And I feel like him expressing that finally will balance all the imbalance that has basically been lately, because things have been imbalanced for a long time, and sometimes that's the only way you can balance things out. And this card just wanted to pop out. I need you to tell me what to do, dominating. So I feel like another reason why he hasn't expressed himself is, I don't want to say he's like a sissy boy or something, but he's kind of in his feminine energy. which this is insane. I feel like I might go on a tangent here for a minute, which has nothing to do with you, Anise, but it's just kind of, it has to do with feminine and masculine energy and how men and women relate to each other. It's kind of connected to what I'm about to say. So just be prepared, incoming tangent. So with this, I need you to tell me what to do thing, dominating. I feel like one of the reasons why he doesn't express himself as he should, kind of like man up and, go forward and pursue you like a dude is supposed to do. One of the reasons why he's not doing that is he kind of feels like he wants you to do that. It's like he wants you to chase him, kind of a thing. It's like we're back on the playground again, where the girls chase the boys and the boys chase the girls and blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of like he's being in his feminine energy right now. He's kind of being a feminine man. Even if he doesn't, he doesn't have to, act feminine to be feminine. He's kind of being feminine in a sense where he, wants you to be the one to do the work. He wants you to chase him. He wants you to tell him what to do. You be the boss, kind of a thing. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why things are imbalanced, because he should be the one expressing this. He should be the one, getting a little bit more dominating here, getting a little bit more masculine here, flipping it here. So things can get balanced. And the tangent I'm about to go on right now when it comes to this comes out of literally what I was watching last night on Sister Wives. I don't know if you guys watch Sister Wives. That show is such a hot mess. But, Cody is married to 4 women, and he had his 30th wedding anniversary with his first wife, Mary. And their relationship has been on the rocks for the longest amount of time. And he basically told her, I want you to court me. I want you to chase me. And then she does that. She did exactly what he asked of her, and he rejects her and he turns her down. And he's like, oh, no, I don't want you. Like, it's the most confusing, dumbest thing in the world. Like, guys need to not be like that. They need to not be like Cody. This is why they're the ones who are supposed to pursue. He should not be sitting there telling his wife, I want you to pursue me. I want you to court me. He should be going after her. It's the dumbest thing ever. And that could be a whole other tangent I could go on about forever. But that's what that kind of reminded me of. But I do feel like that's something that needs to even out. It needs to balance in your situation, Anise. Oh, man. I saw that last night and I was like, I wish I could do a reading for Mary because she needs one. Oh my gosh. That was a crazy situation. Talk about third parties. That would be more like fifth party situation. That has like 5 people involved. Okay, we also have, I feel you inside me and it drives me insane, magnetism. So, he definitely feels that magnetic pull towards you. He definitely feels drawn to you. So, the attraction is still very much so there. So he's definitely still feeling that, without a doubt. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to get one more here for you. And then I'm going to check on PayPal and see who's up next. We also have I'm empty without you, isolated. So I know he's in this other relationship, for the past 8 years. But, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that, you feel like you're in a relationship. You can be married, in fact, for that matter, and still be the most single person in the world. Prime example of Mary and Cody on Sister Wives. She is as single as can be, technically, even though she is married to this crazy guy who's a polygamist. Yeah, so he definitely feels isolated. He feels alone. You can be in a room filled with a whole bunch of people and still feel completely alone. And, he feels empty without you. So, you do mean a lot to him. You mean more to him than you even realize. So, hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Definitely a lot of cups going on there with the tarot in terms of love for the two of you. But he's got to turn around that femme energy, get a little bit more masculine there. Let you be the one who's the feminine. Okay. Oh, and thank you, Melissa. I just noticed your compliment right now that I look amazing. Well, thank you. I feel like I'm just being my normal self today. Get a little sip of my chocolate shake, and then on to the next one. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let me double check. Why does it look like there's dirt on my phone? What is going on here? Okay. All right. Rachel, time for your second question. Okay. If I remember right, it was something about the deception stuff. Let me just double check. Okay. You want clarification on the deception in your love life. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, Rachel, can we get some clarification, please, on the deception in her love life? Where is she being deceived? How is she being deceived? Who's deceiving her? Just what do we need to know for Rachel? Oh, we got 3. Wow, 3 cards that just flipped out in the middle of saying that. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, 3 cards. 3 cards that just flipped out. Okay. So you got the 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords is about conflict. It's about struggle, which once again, if you're going through something that's a deceptive experience, then that would make sense. Anything where there's deception would usually be painful and struggle and make you feel conflicted. So I feel like that just kind of goes hand in hand with the situation at hand. I feel like the deception that you're experiencing right now, it's a tower moment. So, which I hate the fact that this card is coming out here for you, but it seems like whatever's happening here, you're going through a tower moment. So someone, like I said, it's one of 2 things. Either you're deceiving yourself or someone's deceiving you. And either way, like, you're going to know what that is. Like, if you're involved with someone, for example, and like there's something in the pit of your stomach that doesn't feel right, that like it just something feels off, even if you can't explain it. It's like you just don't have peace, is what it comes down to. But you keep persisting in that direction anyways, you're usually deceiving yourself. And if someone is deceiving you, I mean, either way, that's gonna wind up coming out. And if you're allowing them to deceive you, you still could be deceiving yourself in a sense, thinking like, oh, everything's fine, when it's really not. But I do feel like there's a tower moment here coming out of this deception. So whatever it is that has been built together with this person right now, it hasn't been built on shaky ground. Or, I mean, it has been built on shaky ground. So if you want it to have a solid foundation, a better foundation, whatever it is that you've built with this person is going to have to come tumbling down. And the only way that's going to come tumbling down is, unfortunately, with some conflict and some struggle. And that's probably coming out of the area that you're being deceived in. But I do feel like you're dealing with an emperor here in the situation, because you got the emperor card as well. So whoever it is that you're dealing with in this situation is your emperor. So, and kind of like the feeling I was getting from the first question when I was just, doing the general check-in, I feel like whoever it is that you're dealing with, like, I feel like they may wind up doing something stupid, or they may be doing something stupid now, or they screwed up, they made some kind of stupid mistake basically. And that's where the deception comes in, which is going to cause conflict, struggle, chaos, and a tower moment between the two of you. But considering he is your emperor, though, it's not like this is just, like it's not just like a random knight. It's not like the Knight of Wands, for example, who just kind of like jumps in and jumps out of your life. Like this is an emperor. So, that would be more so of like a divine connection kind of thing, like a divine counterpart. So I feel like this person's intentions towards you are good, that they are positive, but they kind of just don't know what they're doing in a sense. And they could wind up tripping up and screwing some things up, simply because, like I said, something on in your foundation of your relationship wasn't exactly built on super solid ground. Something here needs to be shaken up to make the foundation better, is what it comes down to. And I feel like in a lot of these situations, if it's not an emperor, most people would just, walk away or whatever. But I feel like this person has like a genuine tie to you, and would genuinely feel bad about it and have remorse about it and want to work things out. Once again, that's up to you. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can walk away from this emperor too if you want to. But let me see what else I get here. Let's see what else is going on with this deception thing. And if he's not going to like do something to screw things up, it may not even necessarily be like, oh, he's going to go and cheat or something like that. And that's why I'm being very careful here to not say that, because I don't want you to like think and like jump to the worst possible scenario, like, oh my gosh, he's going to cheat or something like that. Like he's a terrible guy, because it may not be anything like that at all. It could simply be just like communication styles. It could be like the way that you communicate to each other. It could be like the way that you kind of like view things. It could be like thought patterns and that kind of stuff too, because mindsets can create tower moments as well. Like just miscommunications can create deception as well. And that can happen without it happening on purpose. And this happens, and that can happen in any kind of relationship and any kind of connection. My mom and I go through this all the time. I love my mom. I don't purposely deceive her, but I can't tell you how many times we wind up deceiving one another simply because we don't communicate well. Like the communication just is not on par. It's not its best. So we're not purposely trying to hurt each other, but, does it shake up our foundation at times when those things happen? Sure. So it could be something like that. It could be something dealing with your communication style. It could be like a mindset kind of thing that needs to be switched around on your end, on his end, on both ends. That could be possible too, because if those things aren't worked out, your relationship will just plateau. And then there's not necessarily room for it to advance. And that's why we have tower moments, because it takes us to the next level, in a sense, in our situation that we're dealing with. So that's why I'm like trying to make sure that you're not like freaked out here. Like I'm not saying, oh, the dude's going to go and cheat and do all these terrible things. But that doesn't mean that what it isn't going to go without some kind of struggle. It could be some kind of struggle, because, tower moments can also be just like aha moments and epiphany moments. And maybe you guys are going to realize some things between one another too. Oh, why do you have to come out as I'm shuffling? Oh, okay. So we have the Three of Swords, which is about heartbreak. I hate that. I hate that. And once again, I don't want to go to like the worst case scenario here for you and be just like, this guy's a loser and he's going to cheat and he's going to do all these things. Truthfully, I don't know the spectrum here. It could be as something as simple as, like I said, communication problems, mindsets, that kind of thing. And it could be anything as extreme as, like, cheating and lying and all this other kind of stuff too. It could be anywhere on that spectrum. The cards don't tell me exactly specifically what it is that he's doing, exactly what it is that he is being deceptive about. But I feel like if there is a gut feeling inside of you that you feel like there's something wrong, you need to listen to that, because that's never going to lie. But there is heartbreak here. There's heartache here. So, I feel like, once again, there's pain that's going to be coming out of this situation, which is, once again, there's going to be conflict, struggle, that kind of thing going on. So there's heartache here. There's heartbreak. It, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to mean worst case scenario, but it is saying that whatever's going on here in terms of the deception, you really got to kind of tune into your own little internal spiritual antenna. Make sure that you're in tune with what you need to know for yourself, so you can try to not be as hurt, as bad as what it could be, to kind of cushion this fall of whatever's going on here. Oh man, these type of readings are complicated, because I like, it breaks my heart when I see stuff like this comes out, because I'm just like, man, I don't like delivering bad news. I don't like doing that. I really don't. But man, I hope in this instance, I hope it's something that I'm wrong about, is what it comes down to. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to be right about something like that. We have the Six of Pentacles here, which is about even give and take. So I do feel like, you're looking for an even exchange in your partnership, regardless of where you're at. And maybe that's a part of where the deception is. Maybe part of the deception, ask yourself, do we have even give and take in this connection? Do I put in more effort than he puts in, kind of a thing? Once again, this takes me back to like that sister wives thing with Cody, where he's talking to his first wife, Mary, and he's just like, you need to pursue me. You need to court me, chase me. And then she's like, what would you do if I kissed you right now? And then he gives her this look like, ew, don't touch me. Like, I mean, seriously, like, that's the kind of red flag stuff you need to look out for. And it's funny, because on that episode last night, he actually told her, he said to her, you're coming after me and I'm not coming to you. Like, he straight up told her that. Like, if a guy tells you he doesn't want you, listen. And I'm not saying that that's what your guy is saying to you, and I definitely hope that that's not the truth for you at all. But, if you are putting in more effort, bottom line, than he is, if there's not that even give and take, don't deceive yourself, in a sense, into thinking that things are all sunshine and roses and butterflies and, happily, blah, 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 blah. If there's not that even exchange, he has to be willing to step up and be that emperor, basically, and put in that time and effort that is required of his end. Let's see what else we get here when it comes to this deception stuff. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is one pentacle away from the 10, which is a good thing. So, it's a good energy to be in. It's a positive energy. I feel like we've kind of had some crappy energy coming out here so far. So I think I'm going to end it on this card for you, just to end it on a positive note. But the Nine of Pentacles is about like that single, sexy, confident kind of energy. Just kind of like being on your own and being good with doing you. And I don't know what the final outcome of the situation is going to be between you and this person, but if it does end in heartache, if it is a tower moment that doesn't end very well, and you do have to take a step back from this emperor, know that you are strong enough and that you are okay, that you're okay to be on your own and to do things on your own. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be on your own forever. It could be temporary. It could be that, maybe you guys need to just take a break or something like that. And then maybe later on, this emperor will return when he has kind of transformed his own life and some of his own things going on, dealing with him. But I do believe that, you are strong, you're confident, you're good completely on your own, with or without another person along the way. But, most importantly, when it comes down to that deception question as a whole, I feel like, most importantly, check in with your own gut, check in with your own intuition, because you're going to know if someone is doing you wrong or not. And sometimes when we care about someone a lot and we love someone a lot, we kind of just like let it slide and we just let it pass and we excuse the behavior because they're special and we love them and we care about them and that kind of thing. And sometimes that can only go for so long before it blows up in your face. So if you do feel like there's something wrong, don't deceive yourself anymore and really look into the situation. If you need to have a heart to heart with this person, have a heart to heart with them, get to the bottom of it. Like I said, it may not even necessarily be as bad as like, oh, he's lying, cheating, stealing, all this other kind of stuff. He may not be. But it could just be communication stuff that needs to be worked out. But either way, it seems like something needs to adjust, something needs to change, because that's what that tower is there for. It's about, demolishing what's already been there so something better can be created. And I think that's the whole point. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes sense. I wish I could deliver like better news out of this one for you, but that's what I got for right now. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, let's see who's next. Going back to PayPal. Okay. All right, D, I got you in for your second question. What is your second question, D? No problem, Rachel. Hopefully everything goes well. All right. All right, D, what's your second question? Okay. Follow-up question regarding Tim. I know you said we would come together, but do you see a relationship with him? But do you see how a relationship with him would go? Like, would it work out? Thank you again. Okay. I will definitely see. Let's see if a relationship with Tim will work out for D. Even before any cards coming out, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I think yes. And the reason why I say yes is because I know in your previous question, you got the King and the Queen of Wands. And like I said, the King and the Queen of like the same suit basically is the perfect match. They're the perfect pair. And if they're the perfect match, they're a perfect pair, then that means it would work out. It's not like it's fire and ice, for example. It's fire and fire. So you guys would light each other up in a sense. You guys would illuminate each other. So just as like a knee-jerk automatic gut reaction here for me, I feel like the answer to that question is yes. The relationship would work out simply because of those two cards. But let's see what comes out further. with that question. If this relationship has a future, if it would work out. Let's see what we got. We have the Seven of Swords. I don't know why this card keeps coming out lately here with deception. So I feel like when it comes to being deceived, don't deceive yourself. Because it's funny because, you literally just asked, if this relationship would work out, when in the previous question that I answered for you, like I said, you got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, who's a perfect match, which would imply that yes, it would work out. And I feel like, in a sense, like between your first question and your second question, it's almost like you second guessed yourself, in a sense, like that's just a little teeny tiny little bit of self-deception, in a sense, where you were doubting yourself and second guessing yourself and thinking like, can this work out? So don't deceive yourself. Don't deceive yourself into thinking like, can this work out? Don't get trapped in like the what ifs and that kind of thing, because that kind of stuff can kill it before it even starts, kind of a thing. So, don't deceive yourself into thinking it can't work out, because it can. Anything is possible. If we really, really want it, anything is possible. Like I said at the beginning of this reading, or at some point at the start of this live, I know I mentioned that Ariana Grande song, Just Like Magic. It's like the anthem of the law of attraction. Go listen to it. Because anything can happen. Anything. You can attract whatever it is that you want in your life. So don't attract the bad things. Attract the good things. Let's see what else we got here, though. And now you're getting the same cards coming out again, because now we got the Seven of Pentacles, which once again is you reap what you sow. So at least in regards to, is this relationship going to work out? I feel like it's going to work out if you put in the work to make it work out. Because, let's say Tim does break up with his other relationship and he gets together with you and you guys start a relationship. That's all great and wonderful. And then you get what you want. But you have to remember, you have to keep working at this relationship. It doesn't matter if you're 1 year in, 5 years in, 10 years in, whatever it is, it still takes work. There's still going to be days where, even like, let's say you guys are married, you have like whatever amount of kids, so forth and everything. There are going to be days where he's still going to annoy you, like you could be PMSing and, maybe he just looks at you the wrong way, or he says the wrong thing, or like, it doesn't have to be anything major. It could be something super trivial and he could just piss you off. Happens all the time. So it takes work. And there may be things that you do sometimes that, may annoy him and may piss him off and that kind of thing. So it takes work. Anything that's worth having in life doesn't come easy, and it comes with work. And I don't mean it in like a way like it should feel like a chore and it should feel hard and all this other kind of stuff. Not like that, but it does take a certain amount of effort. It doesn't, it just doesn't happen naturally and just fall into your lap. And think about that with any good relationship you have in your life. Not just romantically, but, like good friendships that you have and, family relationships and that kind of stuff. If you have healthy relationships in your life, it's usually because there's been some kind of work and some kind of effort that's been put into it, especially when there are misunderstandings, because we're all human beings. We're all going to have misunderstandings with one another at some point. And, no one's perfect. So even in the best of relationships, people disappoint one another at some point. That's just the way it is. It's just how it happens. So you're going to have to continue working at this relationship. Doesn't mean it's going to be hard. Doesn't mean it's going to be terrible. It just means that if you want this relationship to work out, keep working at it. You want to reap a good relationship with him, then put in the effort. You're putting in the effort now just to get the relationship, but once you get there, you have to keep working at it. It's just going to be a different type of work than the type of work that you're doing now. And we just had something flip out there. We have the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles, it's kind of piggybacking on what I was just saying. The Three of Pentacles is about building something together. It's about working together. We have 3 unicorns here, and they got like a little blueprint thing here. This one has a hammer, and they're working on building this like little steeple church looking kind of thing. And they're working together as a team. So once again, when you guys do come together, this is going to be a team effort of the two of you going through the ups and downs of life together, building and creating a life together. Because life has its peaks, it has its valleys, there's the ups and there's the downs. This is why in wedding vows they have things like, through sickness and in health, through richer and for poorer, because we go through all those different types of seasons in life. And there are going to be seasons where you guys are together and things are great and happy and fantastic, but then the shit's going to hit the fan at some point, probably too, about something. Maybe one of you guys has a health problem. Maybe there's money struggles. Maybe there's struggles in family members and other things going on. But either way, like all those things impact your relationship together. So it's like you guys have to continue to be a team. So when you come together with somebody, it's no longer it's you, it's him, and you guys are just doing your own separate things. It becomes it becomes us. So you guys start working together from that team effort of us. So, it never ends. The work never stops. It just kind of changes shape in a sense. So the work that you're doing now, when you guys come together, will end, but then you will be taking on a brand new task is what it comes down to. It's kind of like, if you're climbing up the ladder, so to speak, at your job, it's like every time you get promoted, it's like, yay, I got promoted. But then you get a whole new level of responsibilities put upon you in that new job, in that new promotion that you get. So it's no different in a relationship, It's like if you're just casually seeing somebody, you're not totally committed, you don't really owe them anything. But then, it's like, then you become committed, you become engaged, you get married, all these other kind of things. The more stages you go higher in that relationship, the more responsibilities come with it. So always to remember, make sure you're handling things well with the little amount of responsibility that you have now, because if you're able to handle things well now with the little amount, you'll be able to handle it better with the bigger amount of responsibility. We have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles can kind of be like a poverty mentality. It can be like a mentality of lack, basically. So I think it's important to not go there. And I feel like one of the reasons, once again, maybe why you may have asked this question is because right now you're lacking that relationship with him. It's not technically there. And I feel like that question kind of comes from a place of fear that once again, you're going to fall into another place of lack when it comes to things dealing with him. But as long as you guys are working together here, that's not going to happen. So don't deceive yourself into thinking that you guys are going to be lacking things, because you won't. It's totally up to you, once again, going back to that sister wives example, it's like the perfect example right now. Cody does not want to work on his marriage to Mary at all, which is why they're not reaping the benefits of their marriage. They're just not, because he will not work on it. So, it takes work is what it comes down to. And we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is about nostalgia. It can be about the past. I don't know how long you've known Tim, but if you've had like a long history with him, it could reference that. If you've known him a long time, it can also reference working on inner child kind of things. And it can also indicate past lives. So even if you haven't known him very long, you could have known him in a past life. So either way, there definitely seems to be kind of like an extended past situation here that is connected when it comes down to him. Maybe kind of check some inner child stuff there too. That might help. Because if you're working on your inner child, that's going to help him with his inner child. And that'll help in general when it comes to your connection. Let me get one more here for you, though. But I do feel like the overall answer to that question is, yeah, the relationship can totally work out. Of course it can. Once again, you guys are the perfect match. But it's up to you to make it work. And we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is kind of like being stubborn, basically. This unicorn is very fixated and very focused on these 3 cups here on the ground. And it's being offered this 4th cup up here, but it's completely ignoring that 4th cup. It is just fixated on what's happening down here. So it's basically being stubborn. It's not acknowledging the other opportunities, the other good things being extended to it. So I feel like this is a good reminder for you to not be stubborn when it comes down to things dealing with Tim either. Especially when you guys are in a relationship together. If he presents, like, let's say the cup is an olive branch of peace or something, he's trying to work things out with you or whatever, don't ignore it. Don't be stubborn, because being stubborn can kill the relationship, basically. It's not going to help anything. So it's a good idea to kind of drop any stubborn tendencies when it comes down to things with him, because you can't really build anything with somebody if you're too busy being stubborn. So yeah, hopefully that helps out. It makes sense. Like I said, I do think you guys can have a relationship that can last and that can work out, but it's up to you. If you want to put in the effort to do it, you can do it. So you're very welcome. All right, let's see what's happening here on PayPal. I think you're up next, Bridget. Let me just double check. Okay. Yes. I think you were a swim lady, right? I'm just double checking. Where am I here? Yes, Bridget, you're still here. I see you. Okay, yes, you are a swim lady. Okay. What was your question? Did you mention it on PayPal or did you mention it in the chat? No, it's not. It's not on PayPal. So what was your question? I hope I didn't miss where I see it. Okay, there we go. Okay, should you leave your current partner? All right, let's see. Let's see if you should leave your current partner. Let's find out. Should Bridget leave her current partner? Come on, unicorns, work with me here. All right. We have the Hermit. So with the Hermit coming out, the Hermit is basically about going within. So I instinctively, the very first response I have to this question, just based out of this card being the first one to pop out alone, is the answer to this question resides within yourself. Because that's what the Hermit does. The Hermit goes within, they get very quiet, They get into like this contemplative, meditative kind of place. They turn off the world around them. They disconnect. They disconnect from like social media and their phone and everything else, and they just kind of go within, spend time with themselves, kind of a thing. And by doing that, they discover the truth of whatever it is that they need to know, whatever it is that they're seeking. So I feel like if you are entertaining the idea of leaving your partner, that's a pretty big decision. That's a pretty major decision. Um, and I don't feel like anyone can tell you like 100% yes or no, you should do this. But I feel like the person who knows the answer to that question the best for you is you. So, if it helps maybe to like go on a walk in nature or something like that, just like find a way to like get away and have a little bit of your own space and your own time to reflect. I feel like that's really going to help you out in terms of making that ultimate decision and getting a little bit of guidance, getting a little bit of clarity. So that's number one. First and foremost is deep down inside, you're going to know. You're going to know if you should leave or not. But I feel like one of the best ways to start figuring that out is going within, exploring within yourself what it is that that you truly want for your life, not just when it comes down to your partner, but to your life. See if your partner fits into that equation for what it is that you want for yourself. If they do, then stick around and work it out. If they don't, then maybe it is time to leave them. But it definitely starts with going within, having a little bit of prayer, having a little bit of meditation, that kind of thing. But let's see what else we get. We also have the Magician. So the Magician basically creates whatever life it is that they want. So kind of like what I was just saying about, think about what it is that you want for your life. Think about the big picture. Think about beyond your partner. Think about like, where do you want to live? How do you want your life to look? Where do you want to be working? Like everything. Think about every aspect of it and see if your partner, do they fit into that puzzle piece? Are in the puzzle that you're creating for your life, do they fit into that, or can you not get them in there? Are you trying to jam them in? Are you trying to force them in? If you're trying to force them into something that doesn't look like the life you're trying to create, then it may be time to yank that piece out. But if they do fit, then you're all right. But anyways, the Magician manifests their own life because the Magician has all the tools that they need at their disposal to do that. He's got the wands, the swords, the pentacles, the cups. He's got all the ingredients. He's got all the ingredients at his disposal. So whatever it is that he wants to create in his life, he can do it. And that's no different from you. So I feel like, you may be at a time in your life where maybe you need to go within, figure it out, what it is that you do want for your life, number one, the big picture overall. And once you have a better understanding of that, start putting the tools together in order to have that happen. Because I feel like this kind of goes like beyond just your partner. Like I said, if there are other pieces that need to come in, like, where you're living or what type of job you're wanting, how much money you want to make maybe every month or every year, all that kind of stuff, your family life, your friends and other connections. Think about how you all want all that stuff to look and how you want all of that stuff to interact with one another, basically, because you can create that. You can create whatever life it is that you want. So I feel like part of this is figuring out, do they fit into that? Would they be a good match into the life that you want, into the life that you desire? Let's see what else we got. We also have the King of Pentacles. So I feel like what you're wanting and what you're desiring is a King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is someone who is very solid, they're very stable, they're reliable, they're secure, they're just an overall good dude. He's a good provider, he's a good protector, he makes an awesome husband, he makes an awesome dad. He's just a good guy, is what it comes down to. And, I feel like if your partner isn't stepping up to being this type of person, the person that you want him to be, if he's not able to provide those things, then it may be time to step away. It may be time to let go of that situation so you can allow that true King of Pentacles to come into your life. But if he is like this, if he does already have those qualities, if he is like a good provider, a good protector, a good guy, all these other kind of things, then it may be a good idea to, stick it out and work things out. If he fits into that design. But I do feel like, at least in terms of the life that you may be desiring, you might be desiring that King of Pentacle type of vibe. I just don't know if he's necessarily matching up to that or not. And it's kind of funny because, sometimes it's just like, if you even have to ask yourself the question, should I leave? Ultimately, like I said, it's up to you. You got to go within and figure out how this, fits in the story of your life and what it is that you want to manifest for yourself. But I feel like if you have to ask the question, should I leave? Like, I feel like that kind of answers its question in itself. Like, you wouldn't be asking, should I leave, if you wanted to be there, When I go to Disneyland, I don't ask myself when I go there, should I leave? I stay there until they basically kick me out at midnight. If you're asking yourself, should I leave, you may kind of already be answering your question in a sense. Because typically, if we're happy and we're satisfied in a relationship, if things are good, if you've already put in the effort to try and work things out, then, maybe it is time to go. And with that, I just got the Five of Wands that flipped out, and the Five of Wands is all about conflict and craziness and chaos. So I feel like, this has been like a real struggle for you to figure out what it is that you want to do, because it's kind of like, if we were to look at the inside of your brain right now, the inside of your mind, the inside of your thoughts when it comes to should you leave or should you stay, I feel like it kind of looks like this, like a whole bunch of unicorns basically battling it out with each other, duking each other out, just kind of like mass craziness and hysteria is what it comes down to. So I feel like you've been experiencing a lot of that when it comes to this situation, trying to figure it out. And this is just another reason why you need to kind of quiet your mind, because when our minds are all crazy and chaotic like this, it's very hard to get into that hermit mode. It's very hard to make it quiet, because that's what the hermit does. It brings your mind into this quiet, peaceful kind of state. It's that state of being still. Because, they always say that the voice of God, that it's a still small voice, which means God does not holler, he does not shout, he's not loud, he's quiet. So if your brain is like this, where everyone's screaming and shouting inside because you're struggling inside to figure it out so badly, you're not going to know. You're not going to know which voice is his, because he's quiet. And that's why you got to kind of quiet your mind and, be still. And it's really hard to get into that place. It's really hard to be still. It's a struggle for all of us, but that's the thing, it's like God is quiet like that. The Holy Spirit is a gentleman, basically. He's never going to force you to do anything. He's never going to be loud and boastful and obnoxious and tell you what to do. He's polite is what it comes down to. And the only way you're really going to be able to know is by getting quiet to figure that out. But let me pull a couple more here for you to see if we got anything else on if you should leave, if you should stay. We have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is about a new beginning in love. So, once again, this is about your decision and your choice and what is going to fit in best for your life and what you want most for your life. And I feel like if you want a King of Pentacles, if you want somebody who is solid, stable, a protector, a provider, good overall, decent dude, pretty much, this is the person that you want that fresh start in love with. Now, if your partner, if he has these kind of qualities, if this is where he's at, then maybe what you could do is kind of rekindle the spark in a sense, maybe work things out and have a fresh new start in love with him. If that's not possible and you think it's time to leave, you could wind up finding new love, brand new love, a new love with a true King of Pentacles who is going to be able to provide those things to you. But once again, it's kind of up to you in the choices of your life and knowing if your partner fits in with the kind of life that you want for yourself. Because that's ultimately what it's about. Let me get one more here. And we have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is about waiting for your ships to come in. It's like, I feel like you're kind of like waiting for almost like waiting to be told what to do, in a sense, being told whether to stay or whether to go. You're like waiting for this big aha moment, this big realization, like this big sign in the sky saying, you should leave your partner, you should stay with your partner, whatever it is. I feel like that's kind of what you're doing right now. You're just kind of like waiting, like, are you going to tell me what to do? Are you going to tell me what to do? I don't know. You're going to tell me? Sometimes you just have to step out and find out, truthfully. Sometimes you just have to take a risk and see what happens. Because we can kind of only sit in limbo here and wait for our ships to come in for so long. But I feel like the best thing you can do is, as long as you're sitting there waiting for your ships to come in, is, like I said, the most important thing is probably going into that hermit mode, going within, really thinking about what it is you want for your life as a whole, the entire big picture of it, beyond love, beyond romance, beyond your partner, the whole thing. See if that person really fits into it the way that you want to for what you want to manifest in your life. And if they do, awesome, great, then maybe you can have this new beginning in love with them and kind of like start over with things. And if not, then yeah, it may be time to leave and it may be time to go find that King of Pentacles elsewhere. So hopefully that helps and gives you a little bit of guidance and clarity on that situation. But I definitely appreciate you coming on by, Bridget. I appreciate it. All right, let me double check here, see where we're at on PayPal. Do a little refresh. And let me check Venmo. You're very welcome, Bridget. All right, so Venmo is good. And I think PayPal is good. Just double checking here. And I've been on for about 2.5 hours. And I think I've gotten everybody's payments. So we got 4 people left in here right now. I think before I wrap things up tonight, since there's no more paid readings in for the moment, I'm going to pull a few general type of cards just for whoever's here collectively right now. Just a nice little general message for you guys, so you guys have something for the week ahead. I'm going to use my Soul Creators Oracle cards for that. I like using that for like the general ones because they give helpful little inspiring messages to inspire us through the week. So I'll give you guys some Soul Creator Oracle cards, just some messages for the week ahead, what you guys need to know for this week until I'm on Friday. I'm hoping I'll be on Friday, nothing too crazy or chaotic. I may be driving back to LA next week. And if I am driving back to LA next week, there won't be any lives next week, but I'll, of course, keep you guys updated on that. If not through, videos on here, definitely over on Instagram. Instagram is where I'll always let you guys know if I'm live or not. So anyways, I'm just going to double check my phone one last time, make sure I didn't miss anybody because I would feel bad if I did. Because some people got like doubles tonight and I was like, we're getting doubles. I don't know where we're going here. Okay. Yes, Venmo. Let's check you super quick. Load, please. Why things take so long to load, I don't know. Okay. Venmo's good. PayPal is all good, I believe. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do our little general reading for who's left in here and whoever, comes across this live at some point, if they just want like a little message generally. Let's see what we need to know for this week, you guys. Just in general, for whoever's here, what do we need to know for this week ahead? Cards want to go flying everywhere. All right, we have befriend the word polarize. So polarize. Polarizing is kind of like extremes in a sense, like when you think of, someone or something being very polarizing, it's like very extreme, very shocking, very surprising. So if you're going through any extreme type of situations, or shocking, surprising situations this week, instead of looking at it in a negative light, instead of looking at it as a bad thing and allowing it to overwhelm you, get comfortable in it. Try and find the comfort in extremes and chaos. And I'm not saying that we should all just like accept and adjust to like trauma and insanity and all that kind of stuff, but I guess just kind of like accept that it is a part of life, that, there are going to be twists and turns and bumps in the road sometimes. So instead of getting upset about it, and instead of allowing that to control you, to kind of just like go with the flow. Sometimes when things get overwhelming and crazy, the best thing you can do, honestly, is to just laugh it off in a sense, just to kind of like flip the switch and make something that can be a little overwhelming, a little lighthearted. Let's see what else we need to know for this week. We also have manifesting and doing. So this is a week to work on manifestation and doing. So basically that means you guys set your intentions for what you want to have happen this week. Write down what it is that you're grateful for, say your daily affirmations, make your prayers, think good, healthy, positive, higher thinking level type of thoughts, do all of that like mental, emotional, and spiritual stuff that we're supposed to be doing when we're trying to manifest things. But, don't just be about it in terms of, talk basically, but put the action behind it too. So, let's say there's a certain amount of money that you want to make this week. It's fine to set your intention and say, I want to make X amount of money this week. And I'm thankful for that and I'm affirming I'm going to get that. Like it's one thing to say those things, but then don't just sit there and do nothing, but actually do what you're supposed to do then to go and get that money. Those things go hand in hand. So put those two things together basically. So whether it's money or in a relationship or whatever it is, but just, put those two things together. You can't have one without the other. One is works, one is faith. They got to work together. They don't work necessarily separately. They got to go together. I need to practice my manifesting techniques. Haven't in a while. Well, if that's the part you're missing, then definitely do that. It could be the opposite too, where we could be all about the doing and we could just do, work, 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 work. But then we kind of wonder, like, why are things not going right? It's like, oh, wait, did I affirm this? Did I set my intentions? Am I being thankful? Am I being conscious about my thoughts and things? So, either way, we can become imbalanced in either situation. So those things go hand in hand. Let's see what else we need to know for this week. And see when that may help you specifically with the work stuff. That's for sure. I could see that helping in your work situation. We have choose who you are becoming. So I feel like a lot of the times, sometimes we don't even know necessarily who we're becoming because life can get so crazy. And, it's like circumstances around us can be so much and so overwhelming. We don't know what direction we're going in. But, part of that is like choosing anyways. Like sometimes that can be scary, but we got to do that. So choose who you're becoming, even if you don't know necessarily how it's going to work out and how it's going to pan out. Like for myself, for example, I've been here in Chicago since November. It's April now. I've been away from LA this entire time. I've been paying rent for an apartment that is just sitting there that I'm not using right now back in LA. And yeah, I'm probably going to be driving back there next week. I want to say tentatively right now. But while I've been here, I've been discovering in a sense who I am and choosing who I am. I went on this journey and looked at a lot of apartments and all this other kind of stuff while I've been here, which was not originally a part of the plan when I first came out here at all. It was not a path I saw myself going down whatsoever, but I decided to take the actions even though I didn't know what I was doing anyways. I did it afraid. I did it without like having all the facts in front of me. And as I've been doing that, taking each step in front of me as I see it, I slowly start to figure out what it is I need to do, where it is I need to go, who it is that I'm becoming. So, it's kind of like that Martin Luther King Jr. quote, you just like, you don't see the whole staircase, you just see the first step, but just keep taking each step as you see it basically, and you will eventually see that entire staircase. You'll eventually get to where you need to go. Hi, Brock. I was actually just wrapping up for the night. I'm just doing like a little general reading right now for whoever is left, so you guys know what you need to know pretty much for the week ahead. But I'm going to be live again on Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to come by on Friday, I'll be around then. And I do paid readings only. So if you do want to come back, they're all $10 and under. And I accept my payments through PayPal or Venmo. So information for that is in the description. And that's going to be the same on Friday as well. So you're always welcome to come back for that. We have change maker, make waves. So kind of like the manifesting and doing kind of thing for this week, you guys. There's definitely actions that needs to be taken this week. So make some waves, even if it seems scary, even if you don't know what you're doing. Don't be afraid to go ahead and, shake things up a little bit. That's okay. It's okay to do that. Let me pull one more, and then I think I'm going to wrap things up here. One last card to see what we need to know for this week. We have external validation. So, it's funny because, I feel like you guys don't necessarily need external validation. If you do need it, I feel like you will get it. But I feel like the message here is not to lean so heavily on external validation, because I feel like you guys just need to step out, make some changes, shake things up this week. Step out, find out, embrace who you're becoming. Do the things and manifest stuff, and be okay. Even though things may be a little overwhelming and polarizing and crazy and chaotic sometimes, it's going to be okay. I feel like you guys are going to get external validation where you need it, when you need it, but try not to rely on it so much, because external validation can be a tricky thing if we become addicted to it. So, take in what is meant to come in terms of external validation, and otherwise, try and find that validation within too, because I think that's way more valuable than anything that could come from the outside. And, when God knows that you need to hear something from the outside, he'll provide it. But otherwise, try not to worry about it too much. So anyways, that's kind of like a little bit of a tip and a suggestion for you guys for what's happening for you this week. Hopefully that helps out. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. You're very welcome, Seawin. I hope you have a good week too. And I hope everybody else does. And otherwise I should have a new pick a card. It's a love related, going up either tomorrow or the day after. That's going to be coming up soon though. And I'll be around on Friday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing week. And there we go. So keep sparkling. Mwah. Love you guys. I will see you later. And good night.